We are back here on Power Perspectives. Yes, it is the first show of the new year, and there are plenty of people out there that make resolutions and really want the year to start off and continue to be the best that it possibly can be. And so today, our guest is going to help us to do some things. Number one, make some resolutions, make some realistic resolutions, and help us to have a better 2018. And I'm pleased to bring to the Power Perspectives microphone Elizabeth Koraca, who is an executive coach. She's a career strategist, and she's a former anchor at Reuters Television, and she is helping people out to really take the next positive steps in life. And Elizabeth joins us now here on Power Perspectives. Elizabeth, good to have you.
Absolutely thrilled to be on with you today.
Well, listen, I want to tell you, above everything, I'm excited to have you on because as you are one who did the world of broadcasting, but not just the world of broadcasting, but honestly, you are now working to helping people to find their life's passion. And a lot of people are struggling right now trying to find it. So let's get right into it, because as the new year is here, people do make New Year's resolutions. And what advice do you have for people who are making New Year's resolutions and are still making them right now?
Okay, it's not too late. So you want to make sure you have a plan. You want to, number one, keep it simple. Only choose one or a few resolutions. You don't want to complicate it. You want to make it easy for yourself to succeed. Now, number two, you want to write those resolutions down. You want to have them visible so you're reminded of them constantly and you don't forget them. Now, studies show that those who write their goals down are more likely of achieving their goals than those who don't. And number three, you want to create an action plan. How are you going to make this happen? So if you want to lose weight, what do you need to do? Do you need to join a gym? Do you need to start a diet plan like a Weight Watchers? You want to put it in the calendar. When am I going to sign up for these things? When am I going to make time to work out? Put it in the calendar.
And that's the most important thing, is to write it out and then plan it out.
Exactly. If you don't have a plan, it's not going to happen. So not only do you want to have it all written out and have that mini action plan, you then want to make the time in the calendar. Because if you don't make time, everyone is very busy with work and family and other commitments. If you're not making time in your calendar, it's not going to happen.
So talk to me about what are some of the more popular resolutions that we're hearing this year? Because everybody's got one, but what are the most popular ones that we usually hear?
Well, there's definitely a tie for the top one or two this year, and that is to be a better person. And the second one is, for the tie of number one, is to lose weight. So I know exactly how people who are wanting to lose weight are basically feeling at this point, because I just finished losing 30 pounds of baby weight.
Wow. Congratulations on the baby, too, and losing the baby weight.
Thank you.
So walk me through that, because for you, you had to have did you write this plan down, or did you just go ahead and do it?
Oh, I planned it out even before I had the baby, because this is baby number two, and I remember how hard it was to lose that 30 pounds with baby number one. So again, I had a plan in mind. I knew around what point I wanted to start shedding the weight. So I wrote my goals down. My main goal was to lose 30 pounds. And how was I going to do this? I joined Weight Watchers. Then how much weight did I want to lose a week? I said 1 to 2 pounds, and I gave myself like maybe 6 months. Well, I realized that maybe that was a little bit overambitious. So when you're working with your goals, your goal document, it's a living and breathing document. You can change it at any time. So instead of 6 months, I kind of expanded to 9 months, because you always want to remember, when you're setting your goals or your New Year's resolution, ask yourself, is this realistic? Am I setting myself up for success? Can I do this in this allotted time?
And I think that's the reason why a lot of people quit, because when they don't reach their goal within a certain amount of time, they feel as though the resolution is like dead. So here it is. I thought I was going to get this done in 4 to 5 months. It didn't happen in 4 to 5 months, and now I just go back to being the same old me. So what's the advice for those people who fall off the wagon? Because a lot of people do fall off the wagon. And if we really keep it 100 here, there's some people right now who've started with New Year's resolutions. And as we are on air right now, their resolution has already went bust.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head, Jamie. I'm telling you. What you want to make sure you do is you want to check in and ask yourself while you're going through these resolutions, am I going strong? Am I falling off? You want to be able to change course if something is not working for you. Because just because you had it in your original plan doesn't mean that's set in stone and you have to do it that way. You can change it up a little. All of a sudden, when I was going through my weight loss plan, I found that, I had hired a personal trainer for a short amount of time. I set a budget for that. But then I got very busy with life, with work, with kids. I didn't have time to go to the gym anymore. So along with my Weight Watchers, I also kind of signed up for an exercise plan just online with the 21-day fix. They have a great workout plan. So I incorporated that, through the end of my weight loss journey. And because I needed to change it up, I still wanted to get those pounds off, but I couldn't get to the gym. So you want to check in, and it's okay to change your course of action.
And so changing your course of action is a good thing to do. Look, let's change course of action right here. We're talking about goals. We're talking about resolutions and really making those resolutions. Now, let's adjust ourselves and say, I made the resolution. Is it okay to say, you know what, I want to add on to that, or I want to subtract to that? I think you kind of talked about that, but can I add, subtract? Is that going to help me, or is that going to hurt me?
Well, what I always recommend is if you want to kind of expand, if you're doing well with your resolution, you want to add a few little things here and there, great. But another idea you might want to think about is really also setting your goals for 2018. Now, this is like the vision that you want your life to be. What do you want your life to look like in 2018? Personally, professionally, write it down. Doesn't have to be a long, couple pager. It could be a few bullet points. Then you want to think about, okay, what are my top priorities this year? What do I want to really accomplish this year? You're writing this all down, okay? Then what I like to do is go January through December and start writing out my goals for each month, big or small, and then create a little mini action plan so I know how I'm going to make it happen. And yes, it is a little bit of work, but it is worth it.
Who are, you work with a lot of professionals, and I know that you're a life coach, and you work with, people in journalism, you work with people in the business in the business sector. What are the common denominator, faults and mistakes that people make all across the board that we really need to be paying attention to?
Well, what I see most in my coaching practice, and like you said, I work with, lawyers or accountants, people in finance and sales or teachers. What I find the most is that people, they want to be happy. They want to feel empowered. We spend so much time at work and at our jobs, okay? People want to be happy there. So what does that mean? So there's two parts. Either you're happy in your job, happy enough that you want to stay there, but you could be happier. You could be more fulfilled. So how do you get to being and feeling more fulfilled? Well, what is it that you want there? Do you want a raise? Do you want a title change? Do you want different responsibility? Maybe go to a different department? So then you want to have a strategy, okay? You want to have a strategy of how can I get this so I'm happier and I'm more fulfilled. Then you want to figure out how to ask for what you want. I encourage the people I work with and clients all the time to ask for what you want. I mean, there's a strategy you want to use because it has to be timing. You want to make sure you have leverage. When you get in with your boss or manager, you want to make sure you're reminding them of all the great things you did last year, because don't assume your boss or manager remembers all the great things and your accomplishments for the past year, because they're also focused on themselves or maybe other people that are reporting into them.
Right. And that's so true. You got to make sure to ask the boss on the right day too, huh?
Oh yes, we want to check for mood. You know, if something is blown up and everything is kind of gone to the wastebasket, that might not be the day to ask for the raise.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, as we're talking about planning, a lot of people plan, and some people fail to plan, and some people overplan. I want to get to this thing called burnout, because sometimes you could be so trying to keep up with the plan, so trying to keep up with time management, that a lot of people sometimes really just burn out. And give me some help here, because I've done it before, and I think other people have hit the wall before, where you're actually just working so hard that you actually become burnt out. What do you do, and what advice do you give as we are pacing ourselves for the new year and guarding against burnout?
Yes, well, you definitely want to beat burnout, and you want to listen to yourself, and you want to listen to your body. So when you start to feel that exhaustion, maybe mixed with a little bit of irritation and anger, maybe you're a little bit sharp with the people that you work with and the people at home. Nobody wants to be around that, and we don't want to feel like that. So once you start feeling like that, or you might already be deep into it, you need to try to restore yourself. So let's start to think about and brainstorm, what are the things that are going to restore you? Sleep is very important. So trying to get to bed earlier. And again, I know that's hard. People have commitments. Some people have multiple jobs, kids. Try to put it in your calendar, okay? Try to clear the calendar in the evening so you can get to bed a little bit earlier. And then think about, well, what do I enjoy? What fulfills me? What can help me restore and rebalance? Vacation is fantastic for that, and staycation, because we can't all go on vacation.
Say that word again. What is it called?
Staycation, when you stay home, but you've got time off work,
right,
and you're not in Florida on the beach.
There it is. Staycation. I like that one. Staycation, because sometimes you can't go, and if you hang out where we are, trying to get out right now, travel is a nightmare. So staycations actually work very, very good. So we have to learn how to take advantage of staycations. I'm looking at Kenny right now, because Kenny's got in his mind right now, he's got some staycation planned out right now. But go ahead, Elizabeth, and share with us, because when we talk about burnout, what are some of the signs that we are actually burning out? Because I think sometimes people don't realize until they've actually fallen off. But what are some signs that I need to watch out for to say, listen, I could possibly be leading to burnout?
Yes, well, it's the feeling of not just feeling a little bit tired, like we feel at the end of our day, but it's almost like this exhaustion and this irritability, and starting to kind of dread having to go into work or doing certain tasks. You start to maybe be edgy with people, or snappy, or you're not yourself, or your spouse or partner or a loved one is like, hey, take it easy. I was just asking a question, right? Or maybe someone's actually telling you, I think you need a vacation. So you want to listen. You want to listen to your body, and then let's think about what it is that will restore and fulfill you. You want to, maybe it's watching sports, maybe it's playing sports, maybe it's doing a yoga class, or I recommend maybe meditation. There's a lot of great spots online or on your podcast for meditation. Deepak Chopra is great for that. Even if you've never tried it, I highly recommend it, because you want to try to restore yourself, because we're in a new year. Like I mentioned, when you're setting your goals for 2018, what is the vision you have for your life? This year, what can I get done? What can I accomplish?
And you're on the air right now, Power 620. You're listening to Power Perspectives. Elizabeth Koraca, our guest in studio, share with Kenny Dees and myself. And we are actually trying to get the new year off right. And Kenny, as we're talking a little bit about getting the new year off to a right track, it's really setting the house in order. And sometimes we just fail in that area.
Yes, we certainly do. And Elizabeth, one of the questions that I have for you, if somebody has a New Year's resolution and they're going along for the first month or first two, let's say they're trying to watch their weight, cut down on eating, and they have a slip up. Some people get depressed and give up. How do you keep yourself encouraged to keep going once you get, you have a slip up? Okay,
don't worry. We all have slip-ups. I had multiple slip-ups while I was going on my journey, losing that 30 pounds this past year. But this is what you want to remember and to tell yourself. Let's say fallen off the wagon a little bit and you slipped up in your weight loss journey or whatever it is you're working on, you want to stop and say, okay, I messed up, I slipped up, I'm going to keep going. It's never too late to pick up and start those good habits again. And what I want to stress is that when we do make a mistake or when we do falter, okay, and we may feel a little bit bad about ourselves, don't. And I'll tell you why. It happens to the best of us. When you make a mistake or you slip up, all we're going to do is we're going to look back just once and say, okay, I messed up. What can I learn from that moving forward? How can I not do that again? Okay? Keep that in mind, and then just keep moving forward and don't look back. That's sometimes how we get stuck, and that's sometimes how we get down on ourselves, is when we look back. You cannot control the past. What you can control and be in charge of is yourself right now, moving forward.
What about having a partner in all of this? Because, we talk about keeping these goals and these resolutions and things to ourselves and really holding ourselves accountable. What about having accountability partners and having other people involved in our vision and what we want to do for, these resolutions?
I love it. I love it, Daren. That is an excellent idea. Because if let's say you do have a partner and you're trying to lose weight, I could give you an example. I remember when I was going on this weight loss journey, I said to my husband, I said, when we're together, I am crazy for French fries. That is my weakness in life, okay? I know all the best fries, I think, across the country. However, I said I really can't really have them during this time or maybe just once in a while, so please help me. And I remember we were going out for dinner, and he was getting the burger, and I said, does that come with fries? And he's like, oh, I think so. And he's very sweet, and he's always supportive. And he's like, oh, he's going to get the fries. He totally forgot. And I said, are you setting me up for success? Or are you setting me up for failure? And when I said that to him, he's like, I'm getting the salad. I want you to succeed. So I think it's also just reminding people that, hey, I need your support. It's really hard. So when you're chowing down on nachos and I'm trying to get this however many pounds weight you're trying to get off, I need your support. Please help me. Maybe we can have the fries when I'm not there.
See, I'm so glad that you got away from me the other day because I want you to know the first thing I went for was some McDonald's fries after that. So I just want you to know. So, yeah, I'm glad that we got away from each other the other day because I'd have been setting you up for failure. But listen, when we talk about this now, and really having an accountability partner, having somebody that's really going to be able to help us to hold us there, that's encouraging. What are some of the things that could be the most discouraging during this season when you're trying to get things in order? What are the things that we should be on guard for that could possibly discourage us from reaching our goals?
Well, I think one of the biggest obstacles is not having them visible. I mean, we all have great intentions right out of the gate. This is a new year, a fresh start. I want to change all the things I didn't like last year. I want to get the momentum on the things that I was doing well in, and I've got all these new goals, and we can set them. We can even write them down, which I strongly encourage. But it's then having them visible, okay? So how am I going to be reminded of my goals? Because life gets busy. We forget. So I have people that might tape them to their bathroom mirror. They might put them on their nightside table, on their home office desk, in their desk at work. And you can even set calendar reminders. Maybe you're not a paper kind of person and you don't like to print things out. You want to put them on the calendar, these little reminders to remind you of your New Year's resolution and your goals, because again, if you're not reminded of them, you will most likely forget. And just having them in a document in your computer is not good enough.
Evaluation. How about that? And evaluating our goals, and and sometimes we have to get to a place where we look back and say, hey, I'm not doing this too well. How often should I be checking in on what I'm planning to do, and how how consistently should I be doing that?
It all depends on the person. So I have some people that I work with, they like to check in once every week. Some people do 2 weeks, once a month. It just it depends on your focus level. Some people have a little reminder each day. Maybe they'll take a look at lunchtime, or they'll have it in the notes of their phone, so when they're waiting for their salad or whatever they're getting at lunchtime on lunch break, they're reminded of it, and they can go through it. But I also really want to urge people to have your goals with you, right, beside you, and also your calendar, because you want to make sure you have time in your calendar to get these things done. Let's say, maybe one of your goals is to get a new job in the new year. Okay, well, how are you going to make that happen? Maybe you need to start networking more, go to more industry events, start asking people that you feel can help you for coffee. Maybe you want to treat them for coffee or a quick lunch. Well, you've got to make time in your calendar. You've got to push off some other things in your calendar or start saying no to things so you can achieve these goals.
Yeah, and hopefully for people who are listening right now, Elizabeth Koraca is our guest here, and she is, career strategist, life coach, helping people to get their house in order so we can get ready for this upcoming 2018 year. And we want to make sure that we're starting off on the right path, but not just starting, but honestly keeping it going. And sometimes it's very hard because, good intentions and then things happen and we fall off, as we said. But the key is to get back on, write it down, have a partner, and hold yourself accountable and allow yourself to also make some mistakes, because in this process, mistakes is going to happen. And too many people, I think, Elizabeth, miss it because we are perfectionists. I know sometimes I try to be a perfectionist to the utmost degree. And what advice do you have for perfectionists during this time? Because there are a lot of those out there that are listening.
Oh, yes. I've been there. I've done that. And I work with many people that experience the same thing. So you want to remember, because sometimes when we're perfectionists, all of a sudden we didn't do it. Oh, I'm not going to do it. It's done. I couldn't do it. I failed. That's it. Okay, no. You want to remember. You want to remember that it does not have to be perfect. My best is enough. There is no such thing as perfect ever. So when I do presentation training, as you mentioned, I was a Reuters television anchor, so now I do a lot of help people with when they need to get up in front of people, and we start to get those nerves that creep in. All that is worry, and you start to self-doubt yourself, and you start to worry, am I going to be enough? It's not going to be perfect. Well, guess what? There's no such thing as perfect. We're going to make mistakes. Just keep going. It's okay. Just keep going.
And as I said to people, and if we've introduced you, you're a life coach, career strategist. People employ you, and whether it's businesses or individuals, to actually get the help that they need and plan. Talk to me about people who want to consider maybe getting a life coach and what that really does for them and how that can actually help them.
Well, I highly recommend it. I mean, I have my own coach. I am a coach. And what it does, it helps you in whatever you want help with. So maybe it is getting that dream job, okay? Maybe it is being happier in the current job you have because you have the tools and the confidence to ask for what you want. Maybe it's to help improve a relationship or communications with the relationship. So whatever advice you're looking for, a coach can really help you achieve those goals and those milestones, almost like a sports coach. Like many, all the major athletic teams have sports coaches to get the players at their best. So when you hire a coach, it helps you to operate at your best.
And so we invite people, listen, if you want to get a coach, get one. Elizabeth's right here. She's talking to us right now. But there's plenty of other people that you can also get in touch with. But, as we said, a life coach can really be a difference maker if you don't have the power and the wherewithal to do it yourself. And at least if you don't have anybody else around you to keep you accountable, having a life coach could possibly be the person, and would definitely be the person, to help you to actually stay accountable. Is there any kind of statistics or data that comes with how many people really keep these resolutions when they make it on a new year?
A lot of people, I would say that a lot of people, again, they have good intentions, right?
Yeah.
They have good intentions, but they don't always follow through, right? They don't always follow through. So I would urge our listeners or your listeners to figure out, okay, I don't want to fall into that statistic that says, basically, I'm not going to keep it. So basically, among those who say they made resolutions for 2017, 68% they kept at least part of their promise. At least part of their promise, according to a popular poll. So if you want to be among that 68%, definitely, again, you want to keep it simple, right? You want to write it down. Then you want to have that action plan. How am I going to make it happen? And again, please, you want to make sure it's visible.
All right. Well, Elizabeth Koraca, our guest, life coach, career strategist. She's been on Fox, CNN, and she's here with us, hanging out and giving us the tips that we need so that way we can be better in the year 2018. And thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us, Elizabeth, and really just sharing a little bit about how to get the new year off right. I think a lot of people really have good intentions, as we said, but also to be able to have some real solid planning to help us to do that. You've done that, and thanks so much for coming and sharing with us here on Power Perspectives.
And if somebody wants to contact you about being a life coach, what do they do?
Well, they can come visit my website at Elizabeth, so it's www.elizabeth with a Z. My last name is spelled Koraca.com, so it's ElizabethKoraca.com. Koraca.
And there you go. And you can find out more about her. Elizabeth, thanks so much, girl.
Thank you. Love being here, Daren.
Thank you. And I will talk to you real soon.
Have a good one.
All right. Take care now.